there's this whole confusion and illusion where men think that women should be happy all the time. If women were happy all the time, just think about this. If women were happy all the time, then men would have no interest in you and you would have no interest in men. You can't be happy all the time if you want to feel the spark from a man being there for you. And since you can already take care of yourself in so many different ways, and you have the wisdom, you have the sense of self-sufficiency, what do you need a man for? And what you need a man for is something that you've never been trained or even know is possible. And that is vulnerability. The more successful you are in life, the more you can do things for yourself. You don't feel need for others. And now if you're making estrone, you really, biologically, you're just not feeling the need for others. You have to penetrate into your younger self whenever you find yourself feeling bored or flat. Give yourself permission to not drink wine or drink just a little bit, and then ask and acknowledge to yourself, I'm lonely. I'm sad. I feel afraid. This is not what I want. See, if you pump yourself up trying to be happy all the time, you can't go into the depths of your emotions. Whenever you experience, I'm afraid I'll always be this way. I'm afraid I'm lonely. I'm afraid I missed out. I'm afraid I didn't do the right things. I'm afraid something's wrong with me. Why am I not this way? See, no wise person will do that because they built self-esteem. But if you're bored in life, it means you're pushing down irrational overreactions to life. These are irrational feelings. They're irrational. But when here's the thing, biologically, whenever you're producing stress hormones, okay, and when we're feeling stressed, your brain becomes hijacked, okay? Your brain becomes hijacked, and you're not going to be thinking rationally. You're not going to be, you make a big deal out of nothing. You overreact to things. You imagine things to be worse than they are. If I'm stressed, suddenly I could get all upset and worry a lot, and then I remember, don't worry, be happy, okay? but see, for a man, that's a solution, and that will raise his testosterone, and then his stress will go down. It was a man who came up with that phrase, the song, don't worry.
Yeah. It about drove us all nuts for a while because they played it so much.
That song and that phrase actually comes from an Indian saint, Meher Baba. And Meher Baba was a man who took silence. He never spoke. He wrote, but he never spoke. He had an old chalkboard he would write. And that's one of the secrets of masculinity, to be happy all the time for a man, is don't speak. Just take that in. This is what I'm teaching men. Men all throughout history. I remember when I was a young boy, one of the most sweet memories was not even with my father. It was a friend's father who brought me fishing. And in fishing, you don't talk. You just have a goal, and you can't disturb the fish, so there's no reason to talk anyway. You just stay silent, all doing the same thing. And I felt so bonded. It's like sitting around the campfire at night. It's what men would do. They sit around sharpening their tools under the stars and just do something little and not talk. This is very universal for men. Not talking actually lowers men's stress levels and opens their mirror neurons, which allows them to feel more. Otherwise, men's mirror neurons are closed most of the time. For most men, mirror neurons, science has shown us, allows us to feel and to feel what other people feel. Women's mirror neurons are open almost all the time unless they have chronic stress, and then they shut down. But for most of a woman's life, the mirror neurons turn on, and they turn on big time at puberty. So you've got this ability to feel what other people feel. So for young women, they're always like, what are they thinking of me? And they're always like worried about this and this and this and all that. Okay, so this is the mirror neurons are like really wide. For men, they close down. And the only time they open up for men is helping somebody in need or having sex with a woman. Okay, those are the two places their mirror neurons. That's when they can feel the most love. That's when they can connect with their feelings and they can feel most with you. But it turns out that when a woman needs a man and feels emotion says, I need help. Okay, so a woman with emotions, his mirror neurons will open up, and then his testosterone levels will surge, wanting to help her. He doesn't necessarily feel empathy, he feels compassion. And that's what men can provide for women. That's how men bond with women, and that's how women feel that spark with a man, not when he feels empathy for her, but when he feels compassion for her. See, compassion is, I can feel a little bit of your suffering. And you can measure this in the brain of a man. His limbic system, which can feel emotions, will never light up like a woman's. It just does. It lights up like, if his mirror neurons open, it will be like half of what a woman can feel. You talk to another girlfriend, you'll have all this empathy that's going on. Men can't feel that. What happens is when we feel that, half of the blood flow goes to the limbic system, and the other part goes to the prefrontal cortex, which basically is optimistic and thinks, what can I do for you? And an action part of the brain lights up. So this is compassion. And when women feel compassion, then what happens is their stress levels drop immediately and they get that spark. Because when a man feels compassion for you, that means you've got to help her. That means he's going to do something for you. It's not just another woman just feeling what you feel. And, oh, I'm so sorry for you, and I have this problem too. And you go off and you're
right.
When a man feels what a woman feels, if he actually can open his mirror neurons, he never forgets that. I gotta solve that problem. I gotta do something to make her life better. That's what women need. I've got somebody standing by me. But, what happens is men can't, and as men get older too, the low testosterone, men can't feel compassion and women can't feel vulnerable. But what you have to do is create the setting where a man can feel compassion. And that, I'll just tell you what they are. They are when you feel that you need help. So it's just little things. It's like, what do you think I should do about this? Asking for his advice, asking for his help. But you wouldn't ask for his advice because you're so much smarter than him. So why would I ask for advice?
Right.
And if you're a successful woman, you don't want to appear like you need help because, you have all the knowledge and you're self-contained and you've got estrone and I don't need help and I can do it myself. And then you've got an image because you're on your male side. All of that gets in the way of activating this estradiol, which can make you feel vulnerable, which can raise a man's testosterone. Because part of the spark you want to feel happens when he has a spark of testosterone to help you, and you have a spark of estrogen, which says, isn't it nice to have somebody to share with, someone to help me, someone to do things for me? So there's if this is, for one of the, this is all, by the way, in my book, Be Happy With or Without a Man. So you're going, gee, John, you never talked about this before. I'm just having so much fun.
I love it. I think it's fantastic.
And I want to thank you because you have gotten the best ratings on my podcast, and the one I think you have 1 million on one of them. And
yeah, I think we have like 1,400,000 views now.
Amazing. So anyway, so I took that talk, and at the beginning of this year, I transcribed it, and then I outlined it for a book.
That's fantastic. What a great idea. I mean, it obviously has resonated with a lot of people.
Yeah. So I outlined it for a book, and then I ended up writing outlines for 10 books because while I'm writing this book, then suddenly it expanded to something else, and I have to throw that chapter out. And you know how I go on to other things. So now I've got these sitting on my computer, basic outlines for 10 books, at least for the next 10 years of my life.
We have a lot to look forward to, John. I can't wait for all of these books. And truly, it's an honor for me because, I've had people come up to me in restaurants and say, you're the lady that interviews John Gray, like total random strangers.
I know that interview has really helped a lot of people. It does help a lot of people. But people can't even imagine that there's more to it. That's when they read Men Are From Mars, they often don't necessarily read another one of my book because they think it's so good. How could there be more? There is always so much more to make life more wonderful and to face the challenges. No matter how good you get, life always has problems. And if there are new problems, you need a little help with new strategies.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? One phase of life, we just kind of go through one phase and one different challenge. And as we learn and grow, I feel like we learn that there's even more we don't know and that we don't understand. And there's even more for us to learn. And I love that you're talking about this. And I love that you're writing a book about this because I work with a lot of women that are a little bit more mature. A lot of them, out of necessity or out of choice, have become very self-sufficient, very independent, very capable, smart, educated, successful women. And yet there's a part of them, if they're coming to me, that longs for a relationship with a man. And yet they have such a difficult time doing exactly what you've been talking about, John, showing that vulnerability and opening up opportunities and space for a man to provide something. And I guess because they're perhaps not used to that or haven't felt like that was available to them, this sounds like quite a foreign concept, I'm just going to say, to a lot of them.
What sounds foreign?
To be vulnerable, because they see that as being, like you said, that they'll appear weak, or that they'll appear needy, or that will scare a man off because they're asking for too much, or the sense would be that they would be asking for too much. Or another one is that he ought to just know automatically by some osmosis or something.
And so if he's not doing it, and see, men can't bond with you if he doesn't do something that you feel, oh, that made my life better.
Mm-hmm.
You can't bond with him unless he's done something that makes you feel, oh, my life is better because of him. That's the partnership of male-female. And part of the whole dynamic here, when you are in a relationship with a guy, we'll talk about women who are dating and the spark doesn't happen, is one of the things is she doesn't bring out his masculinity, but unknowingly she brings out his femininity. And that will happen by asking him too many questions. When you ask questions about him, show interest in him, he goes to his female side. See me, hear me, touch me, understand me, feel for me. That's your female side.
Right.
So what she wants is somebody to provide that for her. So she assumes mistakenly that if I provide that for him, he'll be more interested in me. Give what you want and then somebody will give it to you. But no, it's don't give what you want. Give what you need and what he needs, which is to feel more about you and less about him. So if a man says to you, where do you want to go? What would you like to do? Often women will say, what do you want to do?
Yeah, I don't know. What do you want to do?
It's just like, now it's about him. What you have to realize is men do not bond with you unless they're doing something for you. All romance is men providing for women something she could do for herself that she doesn't have to do because he's doing for her or providing it for her.